I thank the chairman. Appreciate you all being here very much. It's an important hearing. Deputy Secretary Menzies, thank you for mentioning rare earth technologies in your opening statement. I do appreciate that. There's a lot of potential for coal in my district and rare earth, and combining the two to create a product that is more profitable than it may be at certain times in the past and in the future. So can you give me an update? Where do we stand on that? When do we think that the technology will actually be ready for prime time?
Well, I'm not sure I can give you a specific timetable, but I am happy to get our program experts on it and give you a briefing so that you can know exactly where we are.
I know there's a lot of research dollars that have gone into Virginia Tech in my district and in other places, but I also know that I saw a map of slag heaps, and one of the things people may not realize is that a lot of the rare earth elements or minerals actually exist in the coal that's closest to the rocks. So in the slag heaps, we can clean up slag heaps and reap a benefit for the United States at the same time and create some jobs, at least in the short run being a decade. My folks would really appreciate that.
Program experts are very excited about the prospect that you can go to really the slag heaps, the waste product piles, and be able to extract rare earth elements. And think about it, we would no longer be dependent, on China for a large percentage of our rare earth elements.
Yeah, and what could be better? We're cleaning up something that ought to be cleaned up anyway as a part of our environment, and we're taking business away from one of our largest international competitors. I think that's great. Along those same lines, but shifting gears a little bit, I want to talk about research on burning coal more cleanly. When you look at the world as a whole, while the coal used for producing power in this country is down, it is still accelerating in the rest of the world. There are lots of places that it's going to be used. When people talk about the ill effects of the pollutants that come from burning coal or have come from burning coal in the past, many of the countries that are going to be expanding coal facilities don't have the regulations we have. They're going to continue to use coal. I would like to see us continue to use coal, but burn it as cleanly as possible. Can you give me an update on some of the research that's going on? And I'm particularly and always have been interested in chemical looping, and I understand there's been a little bit of a breakthrough using a different substance as the, for lack of a more scientific term, the primer in the chemical reaction. Can you give me an update on where we stand on that and whether or not DOE is still positive? I know you are on natural gas, and I get that, but also using chemical looping for coal so that we can transfer this technology to other parts of the world and burn coal more cleanly, not just here, but worldwide to help the environment.
Again, yes, sir. Our National Energy Lab is doing a lot of the research that you have been discussing, and I think that both of us would benefit from, a briefing from our program people as to timetables and where we are. In response to an earlier question, though, I did emphasize that the research is no longer limited to, if you will, carbon capture and sequestration technologies. While it's important, we are looking, again, at the front end, where the fuel that is to be combusted, and see if there are technologies that we can make it on the front end less emission, more efficient, and then during the combustion itself. So we have some exciting opportunities. It has been a top priority for the Office of Fossil. Others have asked about, our full-throated support of certain issues. We have given a full-throated support, certainly during the budget process, to get the resources to the Office of Fossil to evaluate and engage in studies along the lines that you have been mentioning today.
And I should say that along these lines, it's not just this administration. The Department of Energy has always been interested in putting research into these areas, and so even though I disagreed with the previous administration on a lot of things, their DOE was doing some good things in this arena, and I appreciate y'all continuing to do that good work. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I will yield back.
Gentleman yields back.